Welcome everyone to Youth Conservation Opportunities. My name is Sarah Coles, and I am the Executive Director of Texas Children in Nature Network. We're excited to have you with us today. We are recording our session today. Thank you so much for joining us. To save bandwidth for all of our attendees and for a clean recording, we ask everyone to turn off their cameras and mute themselves during the presentation. I'll be monitoring the chat so you can share your questions there, and I'll share them with our presenters. Please remember to keep the comments in the chat kind. Helen Holdsworth is our volunteer running tech for us today. Thank you so much, Helen. And if volunteering for our webinars is something you would like to do, please just contact me and I can get you all set up. As I said, we are recording today's session, and I'll share the recording in a follow-up email. If you're uncomfortable with your name showing, you can change your name to anonymous and then private message Helen with your name for attendance. Also, if your Zoom name doesn't match the name you registered with, please change your name using those three little dots, or let me know, and so that we can have your name for your certificate. If you need a certificate, just a reminder, follow the directions that were in your Zoom link email. Also, in that follow-up email, we'll be sharing these slides from today's presentation. I'm going to go ahead and do our land acknowledgement. Texas Children in Nature Network is headquartered in Austin, and as such, we're on the ancestral and unceded land of the Tonkawa, Comanche, and Sauna people. Our ongoing colonial presence on Indigenous lands compels us to take action to counteract the effects of colonization. The work we do through the Texas Children in Nature Network is one small step towards that effort. And in just a minute, I'm going to put some links about land acknowledgements in those people groups in the chat. And now I'd like to welcome our speakers today. We have a large group, so I'm sorry if I miss anyone, but I think I got everyone. We have Cassie Sheffer-Dieslin with TWA, Masi Mejia with East Foundation, Ali Alcorn with Texas Brigades, Kelly Mundy with the Texas Wildlife Conservation Camp, Shiner Webb with Youth Range Workshop, and everyone else. Thank you so much for joining us. And y'all, take it away.
Awesome. Well, I will go ahead and get us started. So my name is Masi Mejia, and I am an educator with the East Foundation, and we've partnered with the Whitty Museum in San Antonio to develop our Land Stewardship Ambassador Program. So this is a high school program for freshmen through seniors, and the goal of this program is to increase awareness of land stewardship principles, promote civic engagement in today's youth, and inspire students to obtain careers that support land stewardship. And so with that, we select students across 3 counties. And these students, these counties are Bexar County, Cameron County, and Webb County, or their adjacent counties. And what's really cool about this program is that we provide all the learning materials. We provide transportation for when we go to and do trips. We also have 2 out-of-town trips, one to the Whitty Museum and then one down to the San Antonio Viejo Ranch. In addition to providing all the learning materials, which includes the books in this picture, we provide students with a $400 stipend. That's their money to use how they see fit. If they complete all their assignments on time, that's an additional $50. And then from each cohort, we select a best overall public presentation. So students can potentially walk away with $550 to use on scholarships or save for whatever they need. So some of the expectations that we have for our students are to complete weekly assignments. So we have different articles depending on the theme for the week. They can, and it's not just the reading assignments, but we also have podcast, YouTube videos. And then from that material, they submit what we call a thesis, quote, and a comment, which helps us ensure that they are engaging in the material provided to them. Then we meet weekly every Sunday for 10 weeks, where we discuss that week's themes along with writing reflections from those discussions. Now, the goal throughout the semester is to help them prep for that final project. We'll go on to the next slide. So when we kick off this program, we select students. Our application opens in the summer and closes November 1st for the spring semester. In December, we do have a parent-student information session, and that's to ensure that everyone is on board and knows what they've signed up for, given that this is a reading and writing intensive program for high school students. Then in January, we kick off with an overnight field trip to the Whitty Museum where students meet their peers. So we select 15 students from Bexar County, 15 from Webb, and 15 from Cameron County. Then we follow with meeting every Sunday for 8 Sundays, where we talk about history of conservation, human dimensions, policy, water, diversity in the field, public speaking, and then we end with a capstone overnight trip to the San Antonio Viejo Ranch, which is south of Hebronville. And so throughout these weekly topics, these students meet, discuss, and relate their lives to these different topics. Something that's been really cool since 2019, we kicked off with our first group of students. We just had our second meeting this semester with our next cohort of students, but we completed some alumni data back in 2024 where we looked at where our students are. And so 149 out of those students had an increased awareness of land stewardship. 107 of those students are working to obtain a career that supports land stewardship. So maybe they're going into natural resources, wildlife biology, maybe they're doing something in agriculture. And then 98 of those individuals reported doing some kind of civic engagement. So maybe they've gone on to participate in the Rotary Club or something like that. So it's really interesting to see where all these students go and how they continue to grow and be influenced by their participation in this program. And with that, that concludes our partnership with the Whitty Museum and the East Foundation. If you have any questions relating to contacts in specific counties, you can reach out to Helen Holsworth in Bexar County. Cameron County is Elisa Velador, and then myself in Webb County.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. My name's Shiner Webb, and I volunteer with Youth Range Workshop. And we are a week-long camp put on by the Texas Section Society for Range Management. And this year's dates is June 21st through 26th in Junction, Texas. The ages for applications that we accept are 14 through 18. So these campers need to be done with 8th grade, but not yet completed 12th grade. It's $500 for the full camp registration. This includes all meals and lodging and supplies. And the only thing the individual is responsible for is transport to and from camp. We do have sponsorships available through local SWCD. It's been held at Texas Tech University Center in Junction since 1955, so this is our 70th year at Junction, and we've been there every year except 2020. We focus throughout the week on hands-on experience and instruction from experts in the field with minimal classroom time, and they have a chance to be around college-age students that are mentoring them throughout the week. And the campers, which 40 students is a full camp for us, but we're usually closer to between 25 and 30. They're split into 4 groups, and there's a competition throughout the week for what we call top outfit. We focus a lot on plant identification. We have a plant list based off of the FFA and 4-H plant ID and range competitions. And all week they're collecting plants to be used in the final competition or their final collection that is put points towards their group competition. And they're able to take these plant presses and the collections home to study and use. We have an entomology morning where we have a professor from A&M come out and they do a full bug sweep and get to identify the bugs and get to look at additional samples as well. We focus on the full range of ecological principles such as soil health, carbon cycling, mineral cycle, water cycle, and how all of those interact and play into management on the land. We also have NRCS volunteers come out and teach the campers how to do basic range sampling and monitoring if that's something that they're interested in having a career or an internship in. And then we also learn how to do a full forage inventory out on a local ranch and calculate carrying capacity and stocking rate for livestock. So they get a taste of the ranch management side things as well. We have experts from Corteva come out and they learn a lot about brush management from individual plant treatment and mechanical and chemical treatment as well, and when to treat those invasive species. We have a really fun prescribed burn day where each camper gets to safely see what it would be like on a prescribed burn. Each camper gets to carry a torch, and we go through a full prescribed burn process. Even though in June in Junction, Texas, it's usually a little too humid, and if we've had some rain, it's a little too green to carry a flame. So it's usually way safer than normal, actually. And the kids have a lot of fun with it. And our last full day, we go and tour the Kerr WMA, and they get to hear from Texas Parks and Wildlife employees about the land management side of things for wildlife and what all that encompasses. We learn a lot throughout the week, but we also have free time built into every day. The Texas Tech Center at Junctions has creek access or river access, and they have opportunities to fish and swim in the creek. There's a pool that they can swim in, and we make sure that they have opportunity to have lots of fun and time to relax and work on projects and make friends too. Each night throughout the week, we also have opportunities for the campers to try their hand at public speaking. Sometimes we have campers that have been already competing in 4-H and FFA and other types of contests. And then sometimes we have campers who have never done any type of public speaking, and they all get to try their hand at it. And then the last day, we have a competition where the best public speaker wins a belt buckle hosted by the local SWCD. So 4 campers are selected to continue on to an additional program called Youth Range Workshop 2. And this is held the summer after the camp that they're selected. And it's another week-long program with less students and where they all get what we call a deeper dive into all things range management, really in-depth ranch tours and all types of hands-on experience. And then there's also an opportunity for high school youth forum where 2 campers from Youth Range Workshop are also selected to attend our parent societies, our parent organization, the Society for Range Management's annual meeting. So this year, 2 of our Youth Range Workshop campers from 2025 are going to be traveling to Monterey along with other high schoolers from across the nation and they prepare a formal presentation and get to experience that side of range professionalism. Our applications are open right now. If you go to our website, there should be a tab for it. Um, they just got it up this afternoon. But if you have any issues with that, please email us. And I'd love to answer any questions. And please follow us on Facebook for updates as well.
Hello, my name is Allie Olcorn, and I am the Executive Director of Texas Brigades, and I'm excited to talk about Brigades with y'all today. We are a wildlife and leadership camp, and we have different programs as well for students 13 to 17. Our mission is here on the slide, but put simply, our goal is to create conservation leaders in every community. With our programs, we want to develop young people to enjoy the outdoor traditions and feel confident on the land and the water. And we also want them advocating for natural resources for years to come. Texas Brigades began in 1993 as just one camp, the Bob White Brigade, when wildlife leaders were recognizing a disconnect between youth and native landscapes. So they decided to remedy this by creating a camp to show them how healthy habitats and conservation practices support wildlife and then how to communicate that. So fast forward over 30 years, and Brigades is still acting as that bridge. We just want to connect youth to the land through hands-on experiences. We've grown now to 10 summer camps, as well as other programs that continue to get students out in the field, learning about native landscapes and building leaders. As I mentioned, we have 10 different camps. These are our most popular program. And each summer we serve about 200 cadets, which is what we call our campers, with 20 to 25 cadets at each of the 10 camps. 9 of the camps are in Texas and one is in North Dakota, but all of them are in June and July. They're all held at private ranches, facilities, or lodges for 5 days overnight that focus on a specific area of wildlife or rangeland management. You can see that we have 2 Bob White Brigades, 2 Buckskin Brigades, which focus on whitetail deer, 2 Ranch Brigades, which focus on beef cattle and ranching, 1 Bass Brigade, which is about inland fisheries, a Coastal Brigade, which is about coastal fisheries, and then 2 waterfowl camps, which are about geese and waterfowl, one in Texas and one in North Dakota. The dates are on our website, texasbrigades.org, so that when you're planning which camps your kids want to apply for, it's all listed right there. Each camp is $500, but we do have a lot of opportunities for tuition assistance. So we really don't want tuition to be a barrier. We will find a way to get the kid to camp. There are 3 main pillars of what the cadets get at each camp. The first one is leadership and team building. So at camp, cadets build confidence and communication skills that extend far beyond just the outdoors. They learn how to work as a team, how to speak in front of others, and to take ownership of their role as leaders. They also form deep friendships and statewide or even national network of professionals and peers that can last a lifetime. The second pillar of camps are education or conservation, education, and stewardship. Cadets develop both big picture and hands-on knowledge of wildlife and rangeland management. They're learning about plant identification, species, population management, habitat assessment, water quality, biology, anatomy, data collection, and much more, while also understanding why and how their conservation decisions matter. The third pillar of camp is the ambassadorship and community outreach, and this is where everything comes together. After camp, the cadets go back to their community to give presentations, to lead programs, and to attend events throughout the year. They gather all of their projects and then while applying their communication skills, their management knowledge, and the leadership tools that they learned at camp. to earn their way back the following summer, as well as earn college scholarships. So at camp, we have many opportunities for youth and adults. I think we probably have most adults on the call today. So we are always looking for adult leaders. An adult leader walks through the program with the cadets. They're in the field collecting samples and listening to the presentation alongside the kids. Their main job is to keep the cadets engaged and encouraged throughout the week. So 21 and up, no prior experience in any conservation or wildlife field, just a passion and desire to learn. We would love to have you apply to be as an adult leader. Our camps are 100% volunteer run. We could not have camp without our volunteers and are so thankful for the time and the energy that they give to Texas Brigades. So if you have an expertise that you think would be helpful as we prepare for camp, during camp, or have opportunities to help the cadets after camp, we would love to have you as a volunteer. We are also obviously looking for cadets to attend the camp. These are the kids going through the camps for the first time, so looking for students 13 to 17 with just a passion for the outdoors. Next, we have our application process. So our applications are currently open through March 15th. They are live on our website, texasbrigades.org. There is a link on our last slide, a QR code, as well as it will be sent out later. But they will close, like I said, March 15th. Each application includes 2 essays for cadets, which we're looking for just their why they want to come to camp, why they want to learn about natural resources and conservation and build their leadership skills. Applicants will rank their top 3 camps. This can be by what they want to learn about at camp, which dates they're available, or what camps are closest to them. But we often have a lot of kids traveling across the state or traveling to North Dakota or down to Texas to attend camp. The camp committees will review the applications pretty much the next day, or they'll get all the applications the next day. So you will know where you're going to camp by April 15th. So that leaves you plenty of time to plan your summer. Here we have photos of cadets learning by doing. These are some of the examples of the hands-on activities and the time in the field that they are getting at camp. These skills that the cadets are getting will last them a lifetime of just hunting, fishing, outdoor confidence, and so much more. We're not asking that every cadet pursue a career in wildlife, but we just want them to leave with a conservation mindset and the confidence to engage with the outdoors responsibly. Another program that we offer are experiences. These are one-day events that we host throughout the year that can be an introduction to Texas Brigades as well as kind of a deep dive into a specific topic that we cover at camp. Coming up in April, we have our Baffin Bay experience, and this is down in Rivera, just south of Kingsville, where the participants will get to take water samples and meet with game wardens and go on boats and go fishing. It's in partnership with Heart Research Institute, which will be a great opportunity. Again, it's for students 9 to 17, so we broaden that age range just a little bit. We also have a game warden experience coming up later in the fall, which is all about becoming a game warden and what it takes to be one. Thank you for talking about Brigades with me today. Over the past 30 years, we've reached more than 4,000 students and are excited to keep motivating young people to share the importance of outdoor traditions. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks.
My name's Kelly Mundy, and I'm volunteering with the Wildlife Conservation Camp. It is sponsored by the Texas chapter of the Wildlife Society, And just like Brigades, we got our start in 1993, so we've been around for a little over 30 years as well. And we have very similar concept as to hands-on activities, which include species ID, tracking, trapping, which you'll see in some of the pictures. We have turtles, snakes, just depending on where the location is and who's leading the different sessions. We may have rodent trapping as well, maybe some birds. But it also includes different hunter education scenarios, conservation ethics, and a ton more activities that we try to fit within that week span. So within the camper requirements, high school age students that have completed their first year of high school, and they do not have to be from Texas, so they can be from outside of Texas. We've had, I believe, one from Michigan, one from Virginia, so they're definitely welcome to attend. It's just up to them on transport. We also ask for a nomination letter, and this is from anyone like a youth group leader, extension agent, their FFA teacher, just someone that can say, hey, we know they're very passionate about the outdoors, so I think they'd be great for this camp. And similar to Brigades, if they want to return as a returning camper, they'll do some presentations as well to show that they have reached out to the community and kind of spread awareness of the camp. So, certain benefits, like with every camp talked about today, they're going to network not only with their peers, but also with the other professionals and college mentors that are at camp as well. Hands on experiences, and in those future careers that they can learn about, they may really enjoy some of the experiences and activities, or they may find out, I really don't want to do this in my future career. And it's always good to find that out early. Our cost is $350 per camper for the week, so that includes their meals and lodging. They just have to be able to get there. And success stories, I'm always happy to talk about where campers have ended up after their camp time, and that includes leadership positions at Texas Chapter of the Wildlife Society and other organizations, as well as just staying involved with different conservation projects. So the one unique thing about Wildlife Conservation Camp is that it changes directors every year, which typically means the location will change every year. It started out at Welder Wildlife Foundation in Sinton, Texas, but it's gone across the state from Abilene to Fort Davis, to East Texas one year. And so it just depends on who's leading it that year. So if one location doesn't suit you, next year you may be able to apply if it's closer to where you're at. This year, it'll be at the Three Rivers Ranch in Ford County, Texas. And this year's director is Nolan Talkington. Please feel free to reach out. His email is on our website. And the deadline to apply is May 1st. And so, some of the expectations that we have of our campers, we will have plant presses, presentations, and things like that of competitions. And so, there will be a top team at the end of the week that will receive some sort of prizes. And then there will also be a top camper that we typically give out a scholarship to go to college. So, if you want to need more information, our website is listed there, as well as our Instagram and Facebook page. Thank you.
All right. Hi there. My name is Cassie Shepard Eastland, and I'm going to talk to you today about the Guadalupe River Trout Unlimited Youth Trout Camp. And just a little bit of background about GRTU, as we call it. GRTU is a nonprofit based here in South Central Texas, and it is a chapter of the greater National Trout Unlimited. Actually, one of the, if not the largest chapter. We have about 5,500 members across Texas, and very much focused on the conservation and sustainability of our cold water resources. So not only are they hosting events about conservation and education, fundraisers as well to then give back to cold water conservation. We do river cleanups and everything like that, but it is all volunteer and member driven. And so my role with this, along with my husband, he's Dacus Giesling, and professionally, his position is Deputy Director of Coastal Fisheries for Texas Parks and Wildlife. He serves on the board of GRTU. And then I, in my day job, I'm the Director of Youth Education for the Texas Wildlife Association. But we've now volunteered and hosted this camp since 2015. So very excited to tell you a little bit about it. So Youth Trout Camp, this one's a little bit different from the other camps that you've heard of earlier, or programs that you've heard of. One of the biggest differences is that it's not only youth, but also a parent or adult or a grandparent comes along with them. So you can see here, we actually just wrapped up our 2026 camp earlier this month. We range usually anywhere from about maybe 24 to maybe up to 28 or 30 youth plus their parents. And we're looking for youth ages 12 to 17 with an interest in fly fishing, trout conservation, and really just learning more about the cold water resources we have here in Texas. And so we host one camp a year. As I mentioned, we've just wrapped it up. We've always hosted on that MLK holiday weekend. It allows a little bit extra time for travel, for everyone to get there and back to home. So typically our camp runs where everyone comes in Friday evening and then stays 2 nights with us, both Friday and Saturday nights at they're on the Guadalupe River. We have cabins and houses that we house everyone in. So the cost for the weekend for the pair is $200, and that includes meals, lodging, and typically too, we've been able to send all of the youth home with their own fly rod, hat, t-shirt, and some other donated items from the local fly fishing chapter. So just a little bit of highlight of camp. We're able to do probably maybe some little bit different things, also just having that parent supervision along with us. And so how we kick off camp on that Saturday morning, the Guadalupe River is actually a stocked river. GRTU brings in fish from out of state, trout from out of state, and we stock the river. And so that's one of our very first activities with the youth. Again, it's very youth driven, but we always hope that our parents or the parents and guardians participate along with their kids as well. So you can see here, these are just a couple of pictures of us literally kind of building a bucket brigade and stocking the river. So it's great for them to actually get to participate in the conservation efforts firsthand and hands-on. Also during camp, very often these kiddos have not had any experience with fly fishing. Maybe before with other freshwater, kind of your typical fishing, but we do offer fly casting instruction. And so all the kiddos, again, with their new fly rods that they've just received, they will receive casting instruction that very beneficial for them, what they'll take part in the next day. Also wanting to equip them of how to kind of rig up your fly rod. Again, it's a little bit different from your typical rod and reel. So we have volunteers coming in and teaching them how to tie different knots. Also coming in and helping them learn how to tie their first fly. So you can see here, again, a lot of students haven't had the opportunity to do this. And so this is one where we kind of joke and say, keep this fly. It's the first one you probably ever tied. Probably doesn't look that great. But we also then, like I said, we send them home. We have some very, very generous donors that then send them home with a whole goodie bag of things to equip them to go fly fishing when they get back home. But also too, again, it's about the sport of fishing, but also wanting to focus on that natural resources and water conservation. So literally, you can see that the Guadalupe River is in the background. It's there throughout camp. And so we also are focusing on the river ecology, looking at the macroinvertebrates, learning how that comes into play with fly fishing, of matching the hatch. Why are the trout interested in certain bugs, and how to then make your flies look like that. And so again, with different partners, whether it's private biologists, parks and wildlife, we do teach them about, again, those cold water resources that we have here in Texas. And then the great culminating thing that we have, so Sunday morning, kind of one of the last events of our camp, we have over the years have been able to secure a great group of guides that they're guiding on the Guadalupe River throughout the season, but they are all really great, and they donate a half-day guided trip for all of our students. So our kiddos are able to get on boats with them. Some years I'll say it's really cold and their lines are freezing over. Other years they're really killing it. And I think this year one boat landed about maybe 30 fish. So they love it. They're out there braving the cold, which sometimes it's literally freezing. But again, couldn't do it without the sponsors and the different volunteers that make this a great opportunity for these kids. So how to apply for camp. It is a competitive application process like some of the other camps you've heard about. We don't leave our application open for very long. We will open it up in September and close it at the end of October. We do ask about the campers' experiences, what interests them, why they'd like to come to camp. And I'll say it's very competitive. Like I said, we only usually take about 24, maybe 28 youth every year, but typically get about twice as many applicants as we can take. So, and it's also something too where once you've come to camp, you can't return again just to give that opportunity to somebody else. So the application will go live on the GRTU website. So I'd say watch the website, but also the GRTU has a great Facebook page where we're constantly hosting or posting about, again, events, fundraisers, and camp as well. So again, a very great opportunity for, again, ways to give back to conservation. So yeah, whether you have a child or grandchild or a niece or nephew, or maybe a young person that you've been mentoring that you think would be a great fit, we'd love to see you at our camp. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. We've got some time for a Q&A. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. While y'all are thinking about your questions, I will put our evaluation in the chat. And thank you so much, everyone, for presenting. I appreciate it.
I will say one thing, definitely don't be afraid to try multiple opportunities. As someone who's been to 3 out of the 5 that have been mentioned here, 2 is a camper, and that was in the same summer. So if it fits in your schedule and your kids want to do it, I say go for it.
Several thank yous in the chat, so thank you so much. I'll also say our next webinar is Nature is a Great Game Station with Monica Lopez McGee. She realized a few years ago that her middle school son was spending a lot of time on video games, and so created a game-like experience to make sure that her kids were getting outdoors. So, any questions out there? From Karen Elaine, much gratitude to everyone for presenting. Awesome. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Well, seeing and hearing no questions. Thank you so much, everyone. As I said, we'll send out the recording probably early next week. It usually goes out Monday from a Wednesday webinar. So keep an eye out for that. And thank you so much, everyone.